is the founder and CEO of Choices Women's Medical Center. She's an author, an activist, and an initiator of RiseUpForAbortionRights.org. So give it up for Merle Hoffman.
Hi, everybody. Hello, I love this crowd. And happy International Women's Day. There's a lot of activities going on. There are events, rallies. I'm getting things in my email by this, by that, for International Women's Day. But how many of you know that International Women's Day was born in struggle? In 1908, you had thousands of women marching down the garment district, garment workers, demanding for better working conditions, for higher pay, and the right to vote, So I do not see this as purely a day to celebrate. What I see this as a day for commitment and recommitment to what I consider the transcendent cause of the women's movement, because the right to decide when and whether or not to be a mother is the front line and the bottom line of women's freedom and liberation. And understand that freedom is not free. The price is constant vigilance and patience. 33 years ago, I took my hanger, the same hanger, 33 years ago, I took my hanger and had an action at St. Patrick's Cathedral because Operation Rescue was invading clinics, including mine in New York. We had activists arrested. They wrote that this is a turning point, that this movement will definitely stop any enemies. Obviously, the point did not turn. The point did not turn. Now, a week and a half ago, on February 27th, I was with Rise Up again at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and some of those people are here today, and they had more arrests, more intense commitment, but again, where are we? We're steps back, steps back. Have you read and do you know about the women who are marching in San Salvador? Yes, you know that. Now, what we need, that action, that rising, that rage has to come to this country, has to come here, and it has to come here now. It has to come here now. And it has to come with radical empathy and radical compassion, because every woman could be me, and every woman could be you. Every woman could be you. Yes, in 1989, I was in Kathmandu, right, on International Women's Day, and they were marching for the right of women to own property, okay? But they were chaining women to cells for having miscarriages. Having miscarriages because they thought they were having abortions. That was the level of the ignorance. Then, in 1993, a patient came to Choices. She was a Russian immigrant. She came for her 36th abortion. Her 36th abortion, because at that time, abortion was illegal. There was absolutely no birth control in Russia. So the only way women could control their fertility was to continue to have abortions. And then, in 1992, I was in South Africa, where I was working with rape crisis centers, and Mandela had just come into office, and everyone was very excited because they put legal abortion into the Constitution. But then South Africa became the rape crisis of the world, the rape center of the world. And I was working with the director, and I loved her screensaver because it said, "Women who want equality with men lack ambition." Lack ambition. All right. They say all politics is local, and when it comes to women's suffering, We don't have to look far, do we? We look at Texas, look at Mississippi, we look at all those states who have gone on and on and on to obstruct women's freedom. There is even a law that one of the states has come up with that even if a woman says, I think I'm going to kill myself if I am forced to have this child, that is no reason. Potential suicide is no reason to allow an abortion. I am a warrior healer. I have been since having choices for 51 years, 2 years before Roe v. Wade, one of the first clinics in the country, a warrior healer. I've been bombed, I've been evicted, I've had death threats, bomb threats, and the patients still come in now with all of these anti-choice activists screaming at them that they're killing their baby, and if it happens to be a woman of color, they say, you are desecrating the legacy of Martin Luther King. So my life is a battlefield, and it's been a battlefield for many of the women and the clinic providers, and at this point, I want to talk about and ask everybody for a couple of moments of silence, please, for my friend, Dr. George Tiller, who was shot in the head in Kansas when he was in church, for Dr. Bernard Slepian, and for Dr. David Gunn, and for all the women who have been butchered and killed because they didn't have access to legal abortion. Now, please remember that the act of choosing whether or not to have a child is often an act of love, but it is always an act of survival, always an act of survival. I had an abortion, I made that choice, I live with that choice, and I stand by my moral autonomy and my ability to do so. How dare they? How dare they? How dare they play with our lives and our dreams in their political, ideological, theological games? Our lives belong to us. The power of the state must stop at our skin. We must draw the line in the sand. Be a warrior healer. Be a warrior of light. Light. Your body is your country. Your body is your country. Your dreams are your own. Protect and defend them. If not you, us, then who? And if not now, when?